Welcome to the RGVSports Show, Week 4 preview. Bryan Ramos, your 5A beat writer, covering everything 5A football. And today joining me is
Raul Garcia, 31-6A beat writer.
And missing today is Andrew McCullough. District 36A is on a bye, so is Andrew. Can't wait to have Andrew back with us. But we're really excited about some of these Week 4 matchups coming up, Raul. Really excited, really interesting top 10.
Starting tomorrow.
Really interesting top 10 that we put out this week. The RGVSports.com top 10 poll. And a new number 1 taking over that top spot after Edinburgh Vela and McAllen Memorial's game last week.
Doesn't look like you're going to stop the Mustangs.
Yeah, we know how that one played out. McAllen Memorial, a 33-22 win over Edinburgh Vela. The first time that Edinburgh Vela has lost to a Valley team since 2016. Yeah. Really big win for the Mustangs.
They hadn't tasted a loss in a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. And
preseason.
Good to see Campbell Spade's off and running against them. So McAllen Memorial, your new number 1 in the RGVSports.com top 10. And Edinburgh Vela with the loss, they're at 2-1 on the year. They dropped down to number 3. Still respectable. A very good program and a very good team led by quarterback AJ Sotelo. So SaberCats will be looking to bounce back here in Week 4 and show that one loss doesn't define them, and they still belong there amongst the Valley elite.
Yeah, and they'll be taking on the Falcons of Los Fresnos tomorrow in Edinburgh.
Yeah,
at home. Probably get back in the win column.
Some Thursday night football coming to you from Edinburgh, and the SaberCats bringing that one to you. And jumping up one spot are the San Benito Greyhounds. After last week, they were able to put a pretty good win together over PSJ High, and quarterback Smiley Silva gets things done to improve San Benito's record to 2-1 on the year. They come in at second with 70 points from our 8 riders who vote on the RGVSports.com top 10 poll. So San Benito, your new number 2. Edinburgh Vela, your new number 3.
And hanging around, Brownsville Hanna.
Yeah, absolutely.
One game in the winning streak, huh?
Yeah. Brownsville Hanna, despite being 0-2, they had not fallen out of our top 10 here, and they finally get in the win column, as you said, in Week 3 in a big way after a good win over a good Weslaco East team.
Yeah, that was a tough loss for the Wildcats. A good win for the Hanna Eagles in Brownsville.
Yeah, so Hanna finally gets in the win column at 1-2. Brownsville Hanna up to number 4.
We'll have a few of those clips for you guys to check out.
Yeah. A little bit later in the show, we'll bring you some highlights from our friends over at K-West, who caught some of that action between the Wildcats and the Eagles. Really good game, 21-19 win for Hanna. So we'll have some highlights of that one later in the show. And coming in at number 5, after they were ranked in the initial top 10, but they had fallen out 2 weeks in a row.
They just bang the door right back open, huh?
Absolutely. The Sheridan Pioneer Diamondbacks forcing their way into the top 10. They could not be denied, and they come in at the number 5 spot in this week's RGVSports.com top 10 poll.
Yeah, what do you have to say about Lee Marburger?
Oh, man. He's already had over 1,000 yards passing on the year, 17 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, actually up for Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week.
Outstanding.
So a really big performance from Eddie Lee Marburger, that offense. And let's give some love to that defense for being able to slow the Mission Eagles down and hold them to 28 points.
Wow. And
so Sheridan Pioneer, your new number 5, making their way, making their presence known, making the statement with the win over last week's number 4 team, Mission High. And Mission High, after that loss, they tumbled down the poll, tumbled down the ranks. Then they come in tied for 9th place after they fall to 2-1 on the year. So it's always better to get your losses in early, because then you can build your way back up throughout the rest of the season and put some wins together to show people that one of these non-district games doesn't make or break us. Yeah. We're still going to be here when it's all said and done.
Definitely got to get that taste of wanting to win again to come back with all firepower.
Absolutely.
Jeremy Duran in his secondary.
Yeah, a really good team there over at Mission High, and they'll be looking to bounce back. Obviously, that District 36A on a bye this week, so the Mission Eagles get a week off before coming back next week. And coming in at number 6, another District 36A team, another unbeaten, like McAllen Memorial. Only 2 3-0 teams in our top 10. McAllen Memorial, obviously one of them. The second one the number 6 McAllen Row Warriors after picking up a big win over Edinburgh North last week.
Oh, that's right. We had 3 wins under their belt. They seem like a real force to be reckoned with at the quarterback, their running game. And how's their receiver? Is he back?
Savage, unfortunately, I don't believe he's back yet. We'll have to check with Andrew McCullough on that to see his status. A really dynamic player for that Row offense, and they do definitely miss him out on that football field. But McAllen Row is still able to pick up a win without him. 3-0 on the year with wins over Weslaco High, Mercedes, and last week at Edinburgh North. So a big win for McAllen Row, coming in at number 6 after being ranked number 8 last week.
And those are maybe one of 3 unbeaten teams.
Yeah.
In the Valley Sports, huh?
Yeah, unbeaten teams getting thinner and thinner, and Nicky Row Warriors definitely one of those teams, and a team to watch there in 36A.
Hey, what about Ricky Reyna, the Mission Vets, still powering through?
Absolutely, Mission Veterans.
They in at number 7
after losing their season opener to Mission High. They put together 2 really good wins, a 48-14 beating of PSG Memorial, and in week 3, a game that there were a lot of eyeballs on, a game that people saw as potentially for the district title. Mission Veterans rolls through Brownsville Veterans 42-21 in Brownsville. Very impressive statement made by the Patriots to show everybody that they're still here. After their loss, they're going to get back up and keep on swinging, and they know everybody's gunning for them there in District 16, 5A D1. And now at 2-0, they're looking a lot like the Patriots of last year.
Yeah.
Really good start to district play.
The Chargers just didn't know what hit them, huh?
Yeah, that game, it was competitive early. Brownsville Veterans had a 14-7 lead, but then Mission Veterans started making plays offensively. AJ Gonzaga, 3 touchdowns in the first half, and then the defense coming through from Mission Veterans with a fumble return for a touchdown, special teams coming through, a kick return for a touchdown from Mike Gonzalez. So Mission Veterans, after their two straight wins over PSG Memorial and Brownsville Veterans, they are up to number 7 in the RGV Sports poll after not being ranked last week. And down to number 8 after being ranked number 5 last week, the Harlingen High Cardinals. They travel and take on a really good, a really tough Converse Judson team. Yeah. Really talented. We know how those Converse Judson teams have historically been at this level, and Harlingen High gets beat. And that's a tough loss to knock them on. I mean, when you're playing against that tough competition, I mean, obviously you'd like to put on a more competitive performance, but Converse Judson just dominated. Harlingen High, they don't pay too much, down from number 5 to number 8 as they lose for the first time this season. So Harlingen High looking to bounce back.
Game against Weslaco East Friday night.
A big game coming up this week. No easy
at Bob Bogus Stadium, I think they may have the edge there.
Yeah, going from Judson to Weslaco East. Weslaco East may not be Judson, but they're going to bring in Coach Burgett and his crew.
Coach Burgett.
You know what they bring to the field every time. Yeah.
We'll have some clips of what the Wildcats did against Hanna.
Absolutely.
Coming up.
And then I mentioned it earlier. Mission High tumbles down from number 4 to number 9 after losing to Sharyland Pioneer 56-28. They received 17 points from our voters, and tied with what Mission High is Weslaco High after they beat a really good PSG North team last week, 24-7. You were at that game?
I was at that game. That was a real high-powered game, a game of defense, a game of many turnovers, a lot of penalties on both sides. But Weslaco was able to get it done and hold the Raiders to 1 score after an out-of-this-world drive in the first 3 plays. The Raiders were able to charge down and take the early lead for the whole half. Yeah,
really impressive turnaround for Weslaco High to come back and pull out that victory. And on the outside looking in of our RGVSports.com top 10 poll, so Mission High and Weslaco High tied for 17 points there at the 9th and 10th spots. But the other receiving votes, La Feria, with 16 votes, just 1 vote away from cracking that top 10, a 4A school who's now 3-0.
They're getting close.
Looking to break their way in. So if La Feria can manage to pick up one or two more wins, it's going to be hard to deny them one of those top spots in the RGVSports.com.
They'll be taking on Port Isabel Friday night.
Really big game for La Feria Friday night against a good and tough Port Isabel team. And coming in with 14 votes, PSG North, Brownsville Veterans. After being in the top 10 last week, they drop out after losing to Mission Veterans. And the Rio Grande City Rattlers received three points from our voters, as they are 3-0 on the year, heading into a big matchup against number 7 Mission Veterans this week.
Game of the week.
Game of the week.
We'll
absolutely.
See what Monarchy brings to the gridiron.
Yeah, we'll break that one down. The Monitors Game of the week between Mission Veterans and Rio Grande City here in a minute. And rounding out the top 10, the others receiving votes category, Sherryland High, who's now 2-1 on the year, pitched a shutout last week against a tough La Jolla High team, and Eddie Villarreal able to hold them to just over 100 yards and really slowed down the Coyotes team, who was looking good at 2-0. And Sherryland High now at 2-1 on the year. And that's the breakdown of our RGVSports.com top 10 poll. Some teams making some noise, some big changes this week. Edinburgh Vela had been number 1 for who knows how long, but they're finally knocked off, dethroned by the McCown Memorial Mustangs. Bit of a shake-up in the top 10. 2 new teams making their way in, but who will be in next week's top 10? That's to be determined this week. Week 4 games coming at you, but we're going to get to the Week 4 games in a minute. First, we're going to have a word from our sponsor, the J. Gonzalez Law Firm.
J. Gonzalez, a lawyer with thousands of cases won and millions rewarded in settlements. Over 15 years of experience and recipient of numerous awards. If you've been in an accident, there's only one name to remember: J. Gonzalez.
Go more like this, animate.
And we are back with the RGV Sports Week 4 preview, and we broke down the top 10. Now we're going to take a look at some of these big Week 4 games we got across the Rio Grande Valley. Start off with the biggest game of the week: Mission Veterans versus Rio Grande City. They're in District 16 5A D1. Rio Grande City Rattlers 3-0 on the year, 2-0 in district play. Mission Veterans 2-1, been rolling since I lost to Mission High, and I couldn't be more fired up to be at this one Friday night. I know the Rattlers and Coach Mireles, they're fired up. Coach Gilpin and the Patriots, they're fired up to put it on the line and get some attention, get a bunch of eyeballs on this game, because these are 2 really good teams. Rio Grande City, after going 3-7 last year, one of the surprises early in the year, going 3-0 and just coming off a big 69-19 win over Brownsville Lopez last week. Rio Grande City looking good and rolling right now.
Yeah.
Early in district.
Does that have a lot to do with their wide receiver Maruquin just carrying it into the touchdown?
I'd say it's the entire offense. Quarterback by Mario Garza. He's been out of this world early this season. Has a completion percentage above 75%, and like you said, you mentioned Aaron Maruquin, receiver, already has 7 touchdowns on the year. The way he's a basketball player. The way they use him around the goal line, throwing slants, throwing fade routes, just let him go and get the ball, and use his physicality, his size, to beat other opponents and those secondary members who tend to be on the little smaller side. He's just abusing them there in the red zone, and he turned out to be a true threat. 7 touchdown receptions in 3 games. Really impressive.
That's impressive.
Yeah, impressive start for Aaron Maruquin and the Rio Grande City Rattlers. And quarterback Mario Garza coming into this one, looking to make a statement win against the Mission Veterans, who Mission Veterans are 2-time defending district champions. Coach Gilpin and his crew, they know every team's chasing them. They know they're going to get every team's best shot every time they take the field. They love it. They love playing with a chip on their shoulder. They love to be the team that everybody's gunning for, everybody's trying to beat. But Mission Veterans, they've been there before. They've done that. And I'm really excited to see how they come out and perform early in this one. Are they going to bring that intensity that they play with in those big games, on those big stages? Because this is the Monitors Game of the Week. I know it's a few other outlets' Game of the Week. So there's going to be a lot of eyes on this one. The Patriot Blue, the Blue Nation, it's going to be a really good game to watch at Tom Landry Stadium Friday night, 7:30 p.m.
Yeah, they're real excited about it. They're tweeting about it, and the Twitter sphere is going crazy.
Yeah.
But then they're fueling on them being a an upset or a comeback kid.
So a couple other rankings have Rio Grande City ranked above Mission Veterans. In my opinion, Rio Grande City, they still have to do a little more to earn some votes and earn some respect. They are 3-0 on the year, but their wins are over Roma, Brownsville Lopez, 2 0-3 teams, and then they did survive a really good game against La Jolla Palmview that they won 43-6 on the road in Palmview. So that
was a good team. So
that is Rio Grande City's most impressive win, but beating those other 0-3 teams, not too much of a test there for the Rattlers. But Friday night,
we'll see what they're made of, huh?
Yeah, this one will really bring show their true colors and show that are the Rattlers for real here in District 16 5A D1, which, in my opinion, if you ask me, they are. But can they hang with Mission Veterans, a team who's been there, done that, is the gold standard there in District 16 5A D1. And quarterback Ricky Reina and wide receiver AJ Gonzaga, they've been rolling. After AJ was held to just one catch for 11 yards in week 1, he's gone off for 14 catches, over 268 yards, 5 receiving touchdowns over the last 2 games. I'm excited to see that quarterback connection between Ricky Reina and AJ Gonzaga, and then on the other side, Mario Garza, Aaron Marroquin. Just some really good football being played in this district. Expect those scoreboards to be lighting up repeatedly throughout the night. This one could turn into a shootout. And while these are 2 really good offenses, ultimately it could come down to who makes a big defensive play, who makes a big special teams play. And both these teams had Rio Grande City, a punt return by Mark Bettis last week for a touchdown, show off that Rio Grande City special teams unit. Mission Veterans, Mike Gonzalez returns a kickoff against Brownsville Veterans to show off that Mission Veterans special teams unit. So really good game coming to you Friday night.
Yeah, we're going to have to watch out for special teams in that game. It could be the deciding factor.
Yeah, that was going to be fun to watch, and that's just one of the many good games on the Week 4 slate. We got a bunch, and to keep it in District 16 5A D1 for a second, there are 4 unbeaten teams in District 16 5A D1. Mission Veterans, Rio Grande City, 2 of them, they meet Friday night. The other 2, Brownsville Pace and PSG Southwest, they play on Saturday in Brownsville. So only 2 games on the Saturday slate. Really looking forward to seeing how PSG Southwest and Brownsville Pace put it on the line. Hogs 3-0 for the first time in program history.
And they got a good team there with the quarterback leading the show there.
Yeah. Ramirez, yes, absolutely, yeah. And just that PSG Southwest, they run the flexbone offense. They're going to run it right down your throat, and they're coming at you. And if you're a defense, if you're that Brownsville Pace defense, you better buckle up, because the PSG Southwest, they're going to run the ball 40, 50, 60 times a game, and you got to stop them. And you got to keep your wind, and you got to be able to stop them, not just in the first quarter on the opening drive. You got to stop them in the fourth quarter when they're still fired up and running behind that really good offensive line there at PSG Southwest. Mm-hmm. So really good matchup there in District 16 5A1, 5A D1. Really looking forward to seeing that one.
That'll be a good Saturday game.
Absolutely. And then Raul, you touched on this earlier. Edinburgh Vela, not in a too familiar situation, off a loss to a Valley team, but they'll be looking to bounce back Thursday night.
Yeah, they're definitely going to want to bounce back at home against Los Fresnos, a strong, good team, good caliber team over the years. It'll be exciting to see what turns out in that game.
Absolutely. Edinburgh Vela beat this Los Fresnos team 34-13 last year in Los Fresnos. I really think Edinburgh Vela is going to come out on fire and looking to put last week's loss in the rear view, and to let everybody know that Edinburgh Vela is still here and they still belong in that conversation of the Valley's best.
Yeah, I think Vela just needed to learn what it was like to lose again, just so you get fired up. Absolutely, and excited to see that one Thursday night. We'll be out at that one covering that game, so catch that one. Los Fresnos at Edinburgh Vela. The only Thursday night going on in our coverage section. We got Brownsville Lopez and Brownsville Porter playing in Brownsville on that side of the Valley. So only 2 games on the Thursday night slate. Looking forward to seeing how that one turns out. And now let's take it to another game. Teams that might not have received so much love on the year. 2 0-3 teams, Edinburgh Economides and Roma, both searching for their first win of the 2019 season.
and these teams will be playing in Roma. Raul, what are your thoughts on Edinburgh Economides and how they look heading into this one?
Well, I think Edinburgh Economides is looking good going into this contest. Coach Gabe Benya really prophesizes, getting better every day, and he's got a good quarterback in Nathan Garcia with so his receiving team and RJ Sotelo. RJ Soto actually moving the ball forward, so they were able to put 2 scores on the board last week in their loss, but they're definitely they're not just gonna roll over on this game.
Absolutely, and against a Roma team who dropped a heartbreaker last week on the road, they go to Laredo, take on Laredo Nixon, and they have a lead, 35-28, late in the game, but Laredo Nixon comes through. They score late, they go for 2, they convert it. Roma drops a heartbreaker, 36-35, to keep them winless on the year. A really tough loss.
That is tough.
A really tough loss for the Gladiators, and they'll be looking to bounce back here in Week 4 as they host Edinburgh Economides. Edinburgh Economides, they won last year's matchup, so the Roma will be looking to bounce. Roma was actually shut out 17-0 by Edinburgh Economides last year. Roma, after putting up 35 points last week, they're hoping to put some points on the board with quarterback Johnny Dios this week. And elsewhere in Week 4, another big matchup. Raul, let's take it to these 2 helmets right here. We got a matchup between the Mercedes Tigers and the Edinburgh High Bobcats over in Mercedes. Raul, 2 teams you're familiar with?
Yeah, these are 2 storied teams. Coach J.J. Leah is going to host the Mercedes Tigers, and Coach Adame in Edinburgh. No, it's going to be in Mercedes.
This one's in Mercedes.
This one's in Mercedes at Tiger Stadium. So we'll see what happens there. Tigers have a high-powered offense. I think they got like a 3-headed monster in Michael Cisneros running the ball, passing the ball to some excellent receivers. He has like 3 different options running downfield they can catch and can score. Yeah,
led by Josiah Cantu, who's actually leading District 16-5A D2 in receiving yards 3 weeks through the season. So really stacked on the offensive side is that Mercedes Tigers group. And then on the other side, we got the Sons of the Red and Blue, the Edinburgh High Bobcats, who are coming off a 20-14 win over La Jolla Waters Lincoln just last week.
Yeah, they got a 2-headed monster in Shannon Woodward and AJ Trevino in the backfield. So these guys like to run the ball. They're running up there. They're running it up against their opponents, and Shannon Woodward is proven to be a major factor on this team. He has 6 touchdowns on the season, 4 against Brownsville Rivera, 2 last week, and he's there. And he's coming into Tiger Stadium wanting to run up some yardage. But on the other end, you got De La Cedra, who's also a big running back for Mercedes, who could score and is able to just really roll over some people. So this is going to be a good matchup. Both teams definitely don't want to win. I don't know exactly what the turnout was last year, but this year it's going to be a fight to the finish.
Absolutely, looking for a good matchup. And last year's meeting in Edinburgh High won 45-18, but that was a senior-heavy Edinburgh High team, a young Mercedes team, and really interested to see how this year's matchup between the Tigers and the Bobcats turns out. That one is Friday night, 7:30 p.m. in Mercedes at the Tiger Stadium.
Yeah, that's going to be a cap fight. We'll be bringing you back some footage from that game Saturday.
Absolutely. Looking forward to catching that one. And let's keep it in one of your 31-6A teams, one of my 5A teams meeting this week in non-district action. Got the Ed Couch-Elsa Yellow Jackets paying a visit to the Edinburgh North Cougars.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and Ed Couch-Elsa, they get in the win column for the first time last week, a 41-28 win over Los Fresnos. Really impressive, and to do it on the road for Ed Couch's first win of the year, just a really good performance. They got the 3-headed monster of Sean Alvarado, Jake Cardenas, and Edward Cardoza, and they're just running right at you. All 3 of them over 250 yards on the year, and just 3 really good weapons in that Ed Couch-Elsa offense that's gonna run right down your throat. And quarterback Mike Rodriguez quietly playing well, putting together a good season from the quarterback position for the Yellow Jackets as they come into this one against Edinburgh North, who Edinburgh North win this on the year.
Yeah, Edinburgh North win this on the year. Coach Damon Gonzalez is really working up that drawing board, coming up with different plays, and I think they even made a quarterback switch. But their receivers are still out there, and they're hungry. They're hungry. Aaron Borrego's picking up some yardage, and Quintanillas actually scored twice on the season. So we gotta hope that cat fight turns out pretty intensifying.
Absolutely. Edinburgh North showing signs of lives. Ed Couch Elsa showing signs of a turnaround there. They've been competitive. They were competitive last week when they lost 45-35 to Weslaco, and then they come through with a big win over Los Fresnos. So the Ed Couch Elsa Yellow Jackets at 1-2, a team to watch heading into week 4 as they head into this matchup with Edinburgh North. And then Raul, a team that you saw on Thursday, I believe, it was Donna North who dropped one to Gruya at home. Donna North still looking to get into the win column, and they'll be taking on a Valley View team that's looking to put these last 2 weeks behind them.
Yeah, the Valley View team's been surprising that they've come up with some losses under their belt. But Donna North has a real big challenge on this Valley View team if they're coming back, and they'll be playing at home on the blue turf. Mm-hmm. So they don't want to get lost in the shuffle there. Yeah. Coach Mayachilar said the big problem against Gruya was tackling. It seemed to be a big problem because Gruya just kept running the ball. Mm-hmm. When they weren't running the ball, they were throwing the ball. So it was just like a 1-2 punch. Mm-hmm. And this is the same kind of offense Valley View Tigers have when Gomez is in the offense are rolling. Mm-hmm. So it's like the way he likes to say, when we're rolling. Yeah. And you can't stop the Valley View Tigers when Gomez is behind center and he sees his receivers downfield, or he's pitching to his big back that can push those chains forward.
Absolutely. So
it's gonna be a good game.
Going to be interesting to see how that one turns out. Valley View, 2 tough losses coming off, kind of rather surprising, 32-0 loss to Brownsville Rivera. Let's give a shout out to Brownsville Rivera, who gets in the win column for the first time in 21 games with a big win over Valley View. Shout out to them. And Brownsville Rivera taking on one of my 5A teams, one of the hottest teams in the Rio Grande Valley, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Mm-hmm. The Shareland Pioneer Diamondbacks. Oh yeah, they're just averaging 51 points a game, just on fire offensively. And Brownsville Rivera, they're going to be really put to the test, that defense, because Shareland Pioneer offense, they're fast paced, they're on the ball. As soon as it's down, they're running right back up to it, and they got playmakers all over the place. Put them in position to succeed. They run 4 wide. Tristan Castillo, the running back, and a pretty interesting fact about this team: running back Tristan Castillo, in this pass happy offense, actually leads the Diamondbacks in receiving from the running back position. So he can do it all. A really versatile back for the Shareland Pioneer Diamondbacks as they travel to Brownsville Rivera to take on the Raiders. So Diamondbacks looking to move to 3-1 after they worked their way into the top 10 up to number 5. Really interested to see how the Diamondbacks close out non-district play before they embark on district play in 16-5A D2. And to close out our district, our Week 4 preview, we got the Shareland High Rattlers hosting the Brownsville Hanna Eagles, and Shareland High 2-1 on the year, Brownsville Hanna 1-2 on the year. Two tough programs, 2 tough teams that'll be going at it. Last year, Brownsville Hanna walked away with a 28-23 win over the Rattlers. Rattlers looking to even that score this week and get even with the Hanna Eagles. And quarterback Victor Campos from Brownsville Hanna just really playing on fire. Just a true dual threat quarterback, really strong arm, really looking good, and carrying the Brownsville Hanna into who, as we said earlier, comes in at number 4 in the RGVSports.com.
Shareland's going to have a lot of work on their hands trying to slow him down, and that's going to be the answer. If they want to win, they need to slow him down or hope to contain him.
Absolutely, and a tough non-district schedule for the Rattlers. Let's run through it. Open up against Brownsville Pace, the number 2 finisher in last year's District 16 5A D1. Then in week 2, they face Campbell Spates, He runs wild against the Rattlers. We know how that one turned out. 51-10 win for the Mustangs. And Sharyland High in week 3 against La Jolla, able to walk away with a 23-0 win over the Coyotes and shut down running back Eddie Villarreal. Doesn't get any easier here in week 4, as you said. Quarterback Victor Campos can do it all, and the Sharyland High Rattlers will be tested here in week 4 as they host the Brownsville Hanna Eagles, who looked really good in their win over Weslaco East. We talked about it earlier. Brownsville Hanna, they jump ahead early, and unfortunately for Weslaco East, a late missed field goal cost them. They fall 21-29 to a good Brownsville Hanna team who gets in the win column for the first time this year. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at some highlights from that Brownsville Hanna Weslaco East game last week in week 3. And shout out to our friends over at K-West for the video.
Weslaco East travels to Cameron County for a non-district showdown against Brownsville Hanna, rematch of a bi-district game a year ago. First quarter, Ernest Mendoza on 4th and 5 finds Alex Garcia for a first down. This led to Mendoza on the keeper, touchdown. Flag down, but it's against Weslaco East, 7-0 Golden Eagles. We go to the second period, 4th down, and Ramsey Vasquez on the keeper, up the middle, touchdown Wildcats. We are tied at 7. Later, another 4th down, needing 1 yard to go, and Gio Guerra picks up 5 for the first down. Next play, Russell Garza, up the gut, excellent blocking, and he's gone. 37 yards to the house, 128 yards for the night. Extra point no good, but East leads 13-7. But here comes Hanna. Victor Campos, who didn't start, but enters in the second and connects with Ryan Trinidad for 32 yards. 2 plays later, check this out. Campos, showing his athletic ability, escapes the pressure, looks, and finds Trinidad in the end zone for a touchdown. 14-13, Golden Eagles with the lead at the half. Third quarter now. This is Brandon Robles, who barrels his way to pay dirt, breaking the plane for the score, and it's 21-13, Hanna with the lead. Wildcats respond. Hector Muniz, who entered the game averaging 11 yards per carry, takes this one to the house. 30 yards. 2-point conversion, no good. 21-19, Wildcats still trailing, but had one last crack. Gilbert Garza, who hit a game winner a few weeks ago, this time from 37 yards out, but it's no good. Weslaco East drops a tough one against a quality Brownsville Hanna team. 21-19 is your final.
Really good win for Weslaco East over, for Brownsville Hanna over Weslaco East. And
Weslaco would have liked to win that one on that field goal, but Gomez just wasn't able to.
Yeah, it's just a tough loss.
Norwood fever there.
Another close loss for Weslaco East. And really interested to see how those teams look here in week 4. But that wraps up football talk. Now to take it to the volleyball court, we are joined by our sports editor, Henry Miller.
The bump set spike master.
That's right. Exactly. Right. And Henry, some really good volleyball going on here in the Rio Grande Valley. Why don't you let sports fans here in the Valley know what's going on here?
It's really amazing. Yesterday, the Texas Girls Coaches Association released their most recent poll. And guess who is number 4 in the state in 6A? Don't say Weslaco. It's a different purple.
Yeah.
Mac High Bulldogs are number 4 in the state in 6A. 32-1 after losing their first game of the year to Laredo Alexander, 15-13 in the 5th set. They won 32 straight. They're getting better each week. They've got an offense that consists of so many hitters, tall girls, who just hammer away. Lexi Gonzalez, obviously one of the favorites for Player of the Year this year. She spearheads that offense, but they've got Ada Sadler. I don't even know if it's Sadler or Sadlier. It feels like French to me. It's S-A-D-L-I-E-R. How would y'all pronounce that?
Sadly.
Say that again. That
Sadly.
sounded really
Sadly.
good, right? Like if you're French, ooh la la.
Yeah, either way you put it, she's a problem on the volleyball court.
She's becoming a bigger and bigger problem every week. She hits the ball hard. They've got so many people. Selena Signs, another sophomore on that team. They're just everywhere. They're all over the place. 32 in a row. Number 4 in the state. They were 5 last week. 2 weeks ago, they were number 17 because 2 other teams called in and said that they had beaten Mac High. And neither one of them had beaten Mac High. So instead of them being 28-3 at that point, they moved them up to 30-1, and that made a big difference.
Yeah.
So they're tied in the state with the most wins. And then they're just going to keep rolling in 36A. Big week coming up for them. Well, Saturday they have La Jolla on the road, but then September 24th, McAllen Memorial comes to town. Well, they're in town.
Mark it down on your calendar. That's a must-see game.
That is a must-see game that will be packed from wall to wall. I think Memorial's something like 25-8.
Yeah, I had a chance to see them against Pioneer last week, and they shut them down. They were in and they were out quick. 3 straight sets.
And they've been kind of quiet this year. You know, you don't notice them as much, but they're powerful middle hitters, great defensive play. It's Corey Talamontes. Her sister played basketball. Was I think our player of the year last year.
Tony Talamontes.
Yeah. So they're phenomenal. They're strong. Mac High's not going to underrate them. They're not going to play them soft. This is going to be possibly the game of the year coming up September 24th. We've got a couple others. We had a good week of ratings. Mission Vets in Class 5A, number 9 in the state, 27-5. They also have a big game on the 24th. So write that down. September 24th, you can go to Mac High to see Mac High Memorial, or you can go to, it's at home, at Mission Vets to see Sharyland Pioneer and Mission Vets play. These are 4 of our better teams in the area, 4 strong teams. Pioneers trying to break through to beat someone really good. They've had good matches, great matches, just can't get into that upper echelon, but talent-wise, they've got it all. So that should be a good match. Another team that was ranked, Ed Couch Elsa. They're 20-6. Coach Lerma at Mission Vets, her sister coaches at Ed Couch Elsa. So Ed Couch Elsa wants to do well, and they want to do better than Mission Vets. There's a big old rivalry between sisters there. I bet it's great to go there at Christmas and Thanksgiving and listen to the sisters yell at each other.
Does that coach have a daughter that can spike too?
Huh?
Does that coach have a daughter on Ed Couch?
Nope, not at Ed Couch. They don't have a Cassie Lerma there.
They don't have a Cassie Lerma
No,
there.
but geez, I'm sure there's someone in there who just hammers it.
It must be if they're ranked
Ed Couch
so
is
high.
kind of unique. They don't have height. No height. But they've got 8 girls who it seems like they can play any position. They jump out of the gym. Not really, but compared to me, they jump out of the gym. Jump out of 3 gyms. And they're almost interchangeable. You look at them, power, speed, great defense, great serving, couple lefties, which of course are my favorite. But they're just solid as can be. They're, like I said, they're ranked number, I think, 17 right now. And they're just going to keep climbing as long as they keep winning like that. They've got a couple matches coming up, but their big one is October 5th at home against Brownsville Veterans. Veterans every year is a team that usually competes or wins that district until last year when Ed Couch won the district. And they were going for a perfect district record. Brownsville Vets beat them in the last game of the year.
Oh, man.
So they're looking for that perfect record again. I mean, the Lermas, Gloria Trevino at Ed Couch Elsa and Deanna Lerma at Mission Vets, look, they all talk about undefeated seasons. They want to go undefeated. You know, that's a big thing. It takes them, they feel, to another level. Mission Vets is working on their 5th straight year of being undefeated in the district. Unreal. Of course, they told Coach Lerma there when she took over, it would take 3 or 4 years before they could produce a program because she started when the school was built. Won the first 3 districts in a row.
No problem.
No problem. I'll take my time. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's just
so. Volleyball is just unreal. Los Fresnos is ranked 24th in the state. So we've got a lot of rankings in the state. We've got a lot of teams that are traveling all over the state. We've got a lot of really good players. Last week we got a chance to talk to Lexi, or on Saturday we got a chance to bring Lexi in and all of her big heads.
Yeah, there was 5 Lexis here.
There were 5 Lexis here.
And I thought I was going to get spiked.
I've gotten some calls saying, why don't you leave that big head in front of yourself, Henry, each week? That's pretty good.
Yeah, we get one for all of us.
Improve the ratings, right?
Yeah.
But so we've got some big games. The 24th, like I said, there's 2 big ones, Memorial and Mac High, and then Sharyland Pioneer and Mission Vets. you got to go see these teams play. You want to see upper class, top-notch volleyball. I'm not talking underhand, soft hits. I'm talking they're going to come in there and they're going to try to knock your head off.
This isn't 1955 volleyball. This is you're going to get spiked.
I mean, they got girls.
Watch out.
Oh yeah, they got girls with their elbows above the net.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just leap and they're strong.
They're hardcore. Yeah. So it'd be tough for me to go up against one of those blocks.
I wouldn't even try. I would just
just
stay down and go. Yeah. Defense, come on, get to work, save me.
Yeah, I'd probably be better blocking it with my face than my hands. But,
you'd have what the Tachikara tattoo.
Sometimes girls try to go up with it's called a V block, and their arms go like that. I've seen Lexi just go, wow, it's like a field goal, pow,
What about last night's block?
We got it
on the front page of the sports section.
Actually, it's on RGVSports.com. Ada Sadlier is blocking a ball with Olivia Tite next to her, and the ball is right here on her face. And actually, they saved it. That was a block. She popped it up with her hand, so that was the first hit. I believe it was Olivia, almost dove, but had to reach out and pop it back to the middle of the court, where they knocked it, kept it in play, and they got the point out of it. This is the type of team they are. I mean, it's unreal. I mean, nothing dies. Nothing hits the ground.
Nothing hits the ground. Yeah.
It's unbelievable. So it's fun to watch. There's some great volleyball coming up, and if you haven't seen some good volleyball, there's some coming up. So check it out.
Definitely good to see some of our volleyball teams here in the Rio Grande Valley shining and earning some recognition on the state level.
So, that's impressive.
Absolutely. There's really good games to watch here coming up soon. Really looking forward to seeing how those volleyball teams are looking, and can they improve their rankings here in the state, and who will emerge as those district champions.
That's right. Respect the pen. Respect the purple.
Respect the purple.
And in case people want to know what my reason that I might like Mac High a little bit, I have a daughter who plays there. So she plays volleyball there. She's on a JV team. Here's the props to Mac High's JV team. Earlier in the year, they went 7-2 in the Pound Fest, which is all varsity teams. So they beat 7 of the 9 varsity squads they faced. So we've got some more volleyball coming up. But I love watching all these teams. There's some great athletes out there, some great teams, and it just seems to be getting better and better with all the year-round ball that goes on.
Volleyball Factory over at Mac High with Coach Paula Dodds and the Bulldogs. So looking forward to those matchups Tuesday night coming to you. So really must-see matchups, volleyball early in district play. And with that volleyball talk, that wraps up the Week 4 RGV Sports Show preview. And thank you, Henry, for joining us.
Glad to be here.
Shining a light on some of the volleyball teams here. And we're excited for Thursday, Friday, Saturday night football. And we'll be back with you Saturday to break down everything Week 4, some more volleyball talk, and break down, of course, the game of the week between the Rio Grande City Rattlers at the Mission Veterans Patriots Friday night at Tom Landry Stadium. We're looking forward to that one. We will see you on Saturday.
Will the scoreboard stay alive for that?
I don't know. Those bulbs might blow out after the first quarter.
They could. They really could.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll catch you Saturday.